Welcome to Hawaii, the home of aloha and the birthplace of surfing. It's a slice of paradise for some, but behind the postcard facade, native Hawaiians, the Kanaka Maoli, have a different story to tell.
Hawaii is being sold to the global elite. It's not a give and take, it's like a take.
It's a struggle for land, language, and culture, forcibly taken from them by the United States of America.
This is a theft. Premeditated, systematized theft.
We do not consider ourselves American. We are not going to be quiet.
We meet people determined to right these wrongs and keep Hawaii Hawaiian.
And took it away in 3 generations. We're gonna get it back in 1.
This is our home. We're here.
It is on fire.
To day number 1 of the Billabong Throw Pipeline event. 13 minutes, 25 seconds remaining.
In the place where surfing began, the most famous of all competitions is underway on the North Shore, the Pipeline Pro.
Whoa, check out this energy. It is pumping pipeline.
Day 1, pipeline's turning on.
Jack Robinson from Western Australia falls from the sky, riding through the pipe barrel, grabbing rail, coming out with a spin.
Among the favourites is 11-time world champ American Kelly Slater. He turns 50 next week.
Kelly Slater up and running with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sensei Slater does it again.
Got your big birthday coming up in a few days, man. You think this could be the birthday present?
It already is. It already has been. These waves.
For Hawaiian surfers like Seth Moniz, it's a chance to shine on home turf in the sport these islands gifted to the world.
It's a great honor, obviously. I'm a native Hawaiian. I have Hawaiian blood, so that is very special to me. My whole family, friends, cousins, they've all been coming down and supporting, so it's awesome.
We're so grateful to kick off the championship tour here in Hawaii, the birthplace of surfing.
The women are tackling pipeline for the first time in competition, and the Hawaiians are leading the charge. None more so than Hawaii's queen of surfing, 5-time world champ, Carissa Moore.
She's just awesome. And you can actually watch women go out there, which really inspires people like me who surf.
You do? Have you ever been out of pipeline?
No, I'm not doing that yet, no.
The winter swells of the Pacific Ocean peak at this time of year. In a matter of hours, the wave size can go from playful to life-threatening. It is absolutely massive out there at Pipeline.
Oh my Lord!
They must be 20-foot faces that the surfers are tackling right now. We're seeing broken boards, but thankfully not too much damage to the surfers themselves. The Hawaiian Water Patrol behind me, they've got this show on lock. Doesn't matter how big it is, they're out there sorting it out, keeping everyone safe, so this contest can keep on going.
Most of the time it's just broken leashes, broken boards. Maybe 6 or 7 broken boards today. It's pretty gnarly when it's rugged out there.
Born and bred on Oahu's North Shore, Pamai Hoapili is a member of the Hawaiian Water Patrol.
None of our crew got injured, so everybody gets to go home in their own car, not an ambulance.
Here, surfing in the ocean is about much more than a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's the root of Hawaiian culture. For hundreds of years, Hawaiians, even their kings and queens, surfed on wooden boards like these.
So recycled boards. These are some of the boards that I make. They're old school style. Back in the day, they're all one piece, 22 feet long. 7 meters.
The most revered practitioners of this ocean culture are known as the watermen and women of the islands.
What makes a good waterman or waterwoman? To me, if I had to put like a type of word to it, I would say like gracious in the ocean and on land too. Culminating that into your life to where everything seems like surfing or like flowing, and that's like the ultimate goal.
That flow was best exemplified by Duke Kahanamoku, the father of modern surfing.
At Bondi Beach, we have a welcome visitor, Duke Kahanamoku. Last time he came to Australia, he introduced the surfboard to this country from his native Hawaii. How much pleasure the sport you introduced has brought to countless Australians.
Duke's aquatic prowess crossed from the ocean to the Olympic swimming pool, where he won 3 gold medals for the United States. Almost 100 years after his success, surfing made its debut in the Tokyo Olympics. The women's gold medal was won by Hawaii's Carissa Moore. Unlike in pro surfing, Hawaiians at the Olympics compete under the American flag, for many a reminder of deep historical grievances.
It was huge, yeah. It was a big deal in Hawaii. People were talking about it. Like, oh, you didn't give us the flag. Everyone knows she's still Hawaiian. You know, we are our own country. There is no annexation treaty. Like, we are actually our own sovereign nation, illegally occupied by the United States of America.
All Hawaii, stand together.
January 17th, 1893 was the day that we lost our status as an independent Hawaiian nation. We were invaded by the US, and it was a small group of American businessmen that overthrew our peaceful nation and imprisoned our queen in her own palace. This whole history has been hidden from our people. It was part of the Americanization, colonization of Hawaii. A lot of us grew up not even knowing about the overthrow.
These annual marches to Iolani Palace began in 1993, on the 100th anniversary of the Queen's overthrow. They were led by the iconic activist, the late Haunani K. Trusk.
The Americans, my people, are our enemies, and you must understand that. They are our enemies. They took our land. They imprisoned our queen. They banned our language. We are not American. We are not American. We are not American. We are not American. Say it in your heart. Say it when you sleep. We are not American. We will die as Hawaiians. We will never be Americans.
I would like to believe that when she spoke those strong words that shook me inside, that we are not American, that she meant that we are a people who don't abandon the natural laws of our island. In our resistance.
Kalehua Krug is a community leader and a school principal.
Resistance is not only how we get our land back. Definitely the seeds that we plant through resistance are going to get us control, political control back of our lands. But it's also medicine. That resistance is how we heal.
Queen Liliuokalani was overthrown by the plantation oligarchs, known as the Big Five. They transformed the islands into farms to mass-produce sugar and fruit.
As the demand for pineapple grew, so did the need for more land. So, in 1922, James Dole bought the island of Lanai and converted it from a cactus-covered island into the largest pineapple plantation in the world.
Over the decades, Hawaii was also becoming increasingly important as a strategic base, and in 1959 became the 50th state of the USA. This triggered a boom in tourism, today Hawaii's largest source of income. WAIKIKI. Waikiki Beach is the jewel in the crown of the tourism industry. Every year, millions of visitors descend on this piece of sand for their taste of paradise. But at the edge of this playground is a different reality. This flip side is what Indigenous filmmaker Chris Kahunahana wants the world to see.
Waikiki is a story about contemporary Hawaii. Initially, for the film industry, Hawaii was seen as Hollywood's backdrop. So, it served as a beautiful location for a Caucasian-centered hero. They shoot here, but the stories weren't created here. They weren't about here. They were just using here as an exotic location that's prettier than Detroit, for instance, right? The world's starting to understand the value of authentic stories, right? People are getting tired of seeing the same old shit.
Yes, sir!
Yes, sir!
ABC Australia. ABC Australia, television.
YouTube. Yeah, yeah. All right. Hawaii, have a beat. Have a beat.
Burning everything to the ground.
The price of land has been rising steadily over the past decade. It shot up even higher during COVID as mainlanders bought island getaways.
Hawaii is being sold to the global elite. Hawaiians and the local population is competing against unlimited funds from everywhere. It's always ranked 1, 2, or 3 as the most expensive places to live in the United States. So it's either New York, San Francisco, or Hawaii, and it fluctuates. But man, at least in San Francisco, you got the tech industry, and in New York, it's media, it's fucking New York. How are they supposed to compete against that? Like, what kind of jobs are they supposed to have? Unfortunately, the only jobs that they provide for people in Hawaii is tourism jobs, which are like servant jobs, right? It's like you're servicing a population, providing them with entertainment and an experience. It makes you like a servant to the system. It's like you can't live outside of the system without land.
We talk about Hawaiians not being able to afford here. What happens if Hawaiians can't live here? I mean,
yeah, well, without Hawaiians, is it really Hawaii? It's not. And then the powers that be, they don't give a shit.
the housing affordability crisis is driving a homeless epidemic. The state has one of the highest per capita rates of homelessness in the US. Native Hawaiians have been hardest hit. It's hard to go anywhere on the island of Oahu and not encounter the problem. So I notice here in Hawaii, no one says homeless, they say houseless.
They're displaced. It's not like they don't belong here. It's like when you say they're homeless, it's like they don't have a home. No, they actually have a home. You know, the fact that they can't afford to purchase a house, I mean, it's still their home.
A short drive from Waikiki is the Waianae Boat Harbour. Here, a community of houseless Hawaiians are tackling the crisis together. Twinkle Borge is the camp's matriarch.
So at night when you come in, we do have securities. We do have securities that sit here. This is Herman. He's one of my head. That's my head of my securities. Besides one of my overseas.
Herman, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You looking after the place at night?
Yeah.
This is Puahanua Owainai. Puahanua means place of refuge.
I've been here since all the way back to 2004. At that time, it was only 7 of us. And as people started coming with family, I would just give away my camp. Yeah, because my thing was I didn't want to see the kids stressing. I didn't want to see them sleeping on the ground.
Twinkle transformed that makeshift camp into something more permanent. Today, around 250 people live here.
Yeah, so this is my bedroom.
The
That
aircon.
actually works.
That actually works?
Yeah, that actually works. I mean, this is our home, you know? We don't have the privilege of going in and turning on our lights or clicking on that pipe to turn on our water. Here we have generators. We bring in our own water.
Got to get the water every day, yeah? Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't like the bugs. I hate bugs.
How long have you guys been living here?
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
Feel safe here?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. 22-year-old John Isaac moved here 4 years ago.
My parents actually moved in before I did. I was living on my own already. But the household I was living with was getting evicted, so I never be a burden to them.
Welcome to Hawaii. Aloha.
Aloha.
My son, I got 4, and he's one of them that stays in the front with the front line. Mama Twinkle's them.
Twinkle's team.
Yes, we all are. Every single one of us in here. She's just one of those that is willing to be the spear, the head of that spear.
Isaac. I always ask myself, what can I do? How can we get them help? What can be built for them? I'm not saying that we 100% solution. We part of that solution.
Kanaka Maoli Hawaiians are looking to themselves for solutions. The classroom is ground zero. Kalehua Krug is the principal at Kawaiona Akana Avao, a charter school that focuses on reviving Hawaiian culture.
When you give history to them at a young age, when you give culture and ceremony and language to them at a young age, they don't have to feel the loss like we did. You know, they don't have to take that punch in the gut that we had to take as a generation of natives in this time period. For them, it's hopefully lessening the load or the intergenerational trauma that they have to bear. We still believe in the sciences. We still believe in physics and engineering. We still believe in mathematics, as long as the ethics that come from the wisdom of our ancestry are attached to them.
In the valley behind the school is one of several US military bases. The students regularly hear the sound of bombing from over the range.
We tell them, you hear that? Do you feel that in your stomach? Because I felt it in my stomach. It was like an earthquake. We can't keep letting it happen without feeling the pain that the earth is feeling, that the land is feeling, the creatures there are feeling. We have military families send their children here, so we're not necessarily preaching demilitarization, but we're teaching you to see that as wrong.
Aloha.
Desecration of land is wrong.
Since the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom, the US Armed Forces have always had a presence in Hawaii. Pearl Harbor may well be the most famous military base here in Hawaii, but their reach extends much further. Across the island of Oahu, the military occupy more than 20% of the land. That's in a place where land is pretty hard to come by. Adding insult to injury, the US Navy recently admitted to leaking jet fuel into Oahu's freshwater supply, putting at risk around 400,000 people who rely on this water.
The travesty that we're facing right now with jet fuel in our aquifer, that is an example that the US Navy does not embrace our values. They don't understand water flow. They don't understand how to care for natural resources. They don't care about anyone downstream.
The water crisis has emboldened calls for the state of Hawaii to cancel the military's leases, due for renewal in 2029. It has also amplified the debate about stolen land.
If we still had our land base, we would not be like this. This is a theft. You know, premeditated, systematized theft. And they took it from our elite, they took it from our chiefs, they took it from the royalty, they took it from all of our families, historically, so that they had the land base, because land, you know, builds generational wealth, and they could control the resources, they could lock up the water, they could lock up the food, they could lock up the ability for Hawaii to self-sustain.
In a valley not far from the school, some of that land is being taken back. Here we are. After living almost 20 years in the Boat Harbour camp, Twinkle and her team are building a permanent home for their community.
For the last 5 years, I kept telling people, even the people on top of my team, and they would laugh when I said, this is gonna be our home. 5 years I passed this gate and said, this is gonna be our home. Well, this is our home. We're here.
Through a mix of donations and grants, Twinkle was able to purchase this 20-acre parcel of land, Pu'uhonua Ma'oka.
The plan is building out our homes, bringing the people home, try to work towards being self-sustaining.
In terms of growing food and power?
Yes.
Yep.
And guess what? They're all going to get running water. Amazing. Never thought I would be doing the things that I am doing today. Today I'm able to help my family, you know, to be a little bit more productive. Amazing.
For Twinkle, the main focus is giving the next generation a better start.
I mean, for my kids, I'm so adamant with them with schooling. If you act up with the teachers or anything, they gotta call me up. I'll let my kids know I'm gonna show up to your school in my spots, bro. And trust and believe me, I do that. My paydays is when my kids bring me home the diplomas. That's paydays. Might be a sacrifice for me, but at the end it'll be a reward. Yeah, to see the accomplishment, to see the cycle they're breaking for their family, you know, just to get ahead. Yeah. That's payday.
Across the islands, there is a growing movement to keep Hawaii Hawaiian. Back on the North Shore, Pamai knows that the tide is turning.
It's kind of like a modern Hawaiian Renaissance. Everyone's becoming more educated about it and how to deal with it. My daughter's in 5th grade, and in Polelo, Hawaii, I'm in 3rd grade. And so it's funny to come home and have conversations about school, and I'm trying to like speak Hawaiian to her as much as I can.
You speak better than your dad?
He's learning, so kind of.
It's finals day at the Pipeline Pro, and the Water Patrol is back to work. Pamai takes me for a spin on the jet ski to check out the conditions up close. How's it looking, bro?
Looks pretty fucking sick.
It's on. The pride of the Hawaiian crowd, Seth Moniz, is surfing against the greatest of all time, Kelly Slater. Seth's support crew is firing up. 30 years after he first won here at Pipeline, Slater does it again. Claiming this historic victory, Slater pays his respect to the islands of Hawaii.
Everyone who comes to Hawaii should take care of this place and really respect the culture and the locals and realize it's their home and it's your place to visit, but you know, take care of it and look after it.
It's really special, and I'm happy I could, you know, make them proud and make it to the finals. You know, we're almost there, one spot off, but look, I'm gonna be here for a long time, so I'm excited for the future.
The women's final is an all-Hawaiian affair. The favourite, Carissa Moore, and local wildcard, Moana Jones-Wong.
I'm just so super happy that the Hawaiians are dominating their sport again. I'm getting goosebumps. I feel super good because all the little girls, so many little girls are out here watching them, and I mean, I'm proud of them. Look at these waves, they're huge. It's great to see the Kanaka Maoli women out there wearing their flag. Finally, you know, so proud of them.
Today, it's not Carissa's day. Moana is crowned the first queen of Pipeline.
I used to be that kid on the beach screaming Carissa's name. And I grew up just watching the Pipe Masters all the time, like thinking I would never even go out there. So to come out here and like win a contest, like an actual ginormous contest like this is insane. Everybody came down to watch me, screaming for me, just like so much support, and I couldn't have done it without them.
That was a big result, you know. There's like 3 out of 4 people in finals from Hawaii. That's huge. It was really cool to see that go down in history.
As the world tour moves on, in the birthplace of surfing, the message is clear.
Hawaiians just want to be Hawaiian in Hawaii. Be Hawaiian, speak Hawaiian, live Hawaiian. The longer you stay alive, the longer people remember, like, we're here. But if we stop, down the line, people stop talking about us. We disappear. So we gotta keep practicing.
Right here in the island, people wear chains on poverty and violence. From acting out, remain silent. So I stepped in the game to keep Hawaii Hawaiian. I was born and raised here, right here in the island. My people wear chains on poverty and violence. And they want us to refrain from acting out, remain silent. So I stepped in the game to keep Hawaii Hawaiian. I was born and raised right here in the island. My people wear chains on poverty and violence. And they want us to refrain from acting out, remain silent. So I stepped in the game. Keep Hawaii, Hawaii. I was born and raised, you're right here in the island. My people wear chains.